Frickers. I hope you're doing well. I just returned from what was supposed to be a 3-day long weekend at the lake, but holy crap, the weather forecast was all sideways, and the energies that were coming at me and my kids in the last 2 days were just demented. Like almost insanity in some ways. I don't know where people's triggers were coming out, but I was getting sniped at and getting so much negative energy kind of forced in my direction that was expecting a response, and the energy was so like loopy or pounding or whatever. It just like, you gotta validate me. I was seeing it. I went to my trailer about an hour and a half from here. It was a big thing because it's expensive for gas right now and all this kind of stuff. And my mother and dad were there, and we had a beautiful evening on Thursday night and woke up and a nice breakfast and tested out my Sea-Doo on the lake, and everything was going well. And then we had a family barbecue. And the energies that showed up, I don't think anybody really chose them, but there was several strong energies that were there that wanted to be heard and wanted to snipe and wanted to get back at. And then there's a divorce thing that my sister's going through right now with her ex, and all the battle and the fight that she's going through. All these energies kept kind of cranking up, and it felt like I was being sniped at because some of the references and other things were about man and what he was doing and all this kind of stuff. And flip side, I can see where all the poking is going on and stuff. So they weren't really my energies, but they wanted me to participate. And I had to kept just pulling back, and there's a lot of confusion about who was barbecuing and what was going to happen and all this kind of stuff. And it's my trailer, so I'm like hosting and setting up potatoes and all these things. But I saw all these energies and kind of like weird ego things and other stuff. And I just kept having to withdraw. I had to pull back. I was getting triggered by my neighbors and their insistence on like setting their boundaries of the sides of the trailer or whatever. They put up these trees that they never agreed to, and then they put these little lights right on and I'm going to drive over them with my trailer when I pull out my Sea-Doo. And just so much like lacks of respect or lack of conversation. And I just saw the energies today. So maybe you're seeing the same things, that stuff's getting boiled up and you really want to get triggered and angry. And I had to sit and process and be quiet and breathe and go deeper and say, why are these showing up? And not all of them are to teach me. There's people looking for validation or to pull you into their story. And right now it's best to just step back, because they were hurting me. It was to the point, the energies were so strong. I didn't feel bad, or I wasn't projecting energies, but it was to the point where my mother at 9 o'clock have to go home because the energies were so strong. There wasn't like any negative against us. It was just all the energies that were floating around from the day. And she honored herself. I was so proud of her and happy that she chose it. And 5 minutes later, she was on her way home, and it kind of ended the weekend, but it was rainy and none of the weather reports were lined up. So it was just like, what is this weekend all about? Why is the energy so harried? Why do people... Sorry, Facebook wasn't happy there. So this may be happening to you. And people are trying to clean up so much stuff. They're trying to get validated in their side of things, etc. All I'm suggesting is breathe and step away. We had this beautiful barbecue. There was like 10 steaks, and there was no room at the table, and I was quite happy. I was sitting over at the deck box about 5 feet away or so. And I was so happy that I wasn't involved in the energy that was going on. Some of the conversations were about their stuff, and really, it's okay. They can have their conversations. I have no negativity towards anyone, but I just see past and see inside what's going on, and it's crazy right now. So just be okay. Like at some points it's just like the energy wants me to die and that I'm different and I'm whatever. And it's really hard to be sitting in that energy and feel this like crushing darkness coming through the negativity that's coming through other people's experience and their discussion of it. And it's like, where do you get off being light? And I just have to keep making a choice. Like I did nothing to deserve the commentaries that happened and the sniping that happened and all this kind of stuff. But it wanted to destroy me afterwards. It was just like, who the fuck are you to have a different view, or who the fuck are you to shine when I'm unhappy? And it's just like a little child trying to insist and demand things. So just be aware. It's happening. Maybe it's happening to you. Maybe it's with family. I've had a few people texting me saying shit was going down with their family. Maybe this is a cleanup weekend for all this kind of stuff. Just breathe and just keep standing your boundaries and don't engage. Don't get into a big fight, because this energy is about clearing and moving through and knowing that you don't have to engage, and setting new boundaries and new safety zones and maybe differing from what you were before, where you just allowed and let it happen and people controlled you in all these ways. I see stuff going on with my kids even today. They got to have a chat with their mother, because there's a lot of really weird negative shit coming out, and people are trying to control and exert control and feel in control when really there is none. It's all about allowing and accepting and letting it pass through and breathing through it. But a lot of old negative stuff is showing up. So if you get stuck, I'm happy to help. Just put something on the post or whatever. But fuck, I just got taken to the ground a whole bunch of times, and it's just like, shut up and die. Shut up and die is what the energy feels like. But it's like, no, you don't get to choose anymore. I'm going to be light no matter what. And you're going to have to live with it. And that doesn't mean yelling and screaming. I wanted to punch somebody in the face at some point on the weekend, and I did not, because that wouldn't have helped anything. It would have just fed another negative narrative, and I'm moving through it, and you're moving through it, and we're rising above, and we just got to keep rising above. Anything that's dark, anybody's trauma, anybody's past, anybody's stuff is going to start trying to grab you by the throat and tell you that you're wrong, and you completely invalidate them by being pardon me, lighter, happier, all this kind of stuff. So it's going to show up, but don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. It's their stuff. 9 times out of 10, it's their stuff. And if there's anything underneath, you can keep asking your higher self, just saying, okay, what's going on for me? Okay, no, I'm learning to not engage. I'm learning to not take sniping as an attack on me. I'm learning all these things, but it just seems relentless. And if you're exhausted, I hear you. And I understand, and we're all doing our best. So keep pushing through, keep breathing, pull back, go lay down in bed, express some emotions, whatever you need, and you're going to get through it. So I love you all. I thank you for all the work you're doing. I'm feeling it too. I just got to go home to bed here soon. My weekend feels cut short, but I'm going to find something better to do. So love you all. Have a good day. Keep shining. You got this.